a call from Show. I've received a call from Show, and Show said that and informed that his passport has been. Yes, he has been arrested. He has been arrested. There's no problem. Solidarity forever. Let's go. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights.
What's good, African family? Welcome back to the African Wahala. So we just heard the moment when Omoyele Sowore was once again detained by the Nigerian immigration systems once he arrived from his base in the United States. And he has a lot of supporters. The guys in the orange beret, they are from the political party that he represents. They came out there to protest at the airport, and they did not stop until Sowore was eventually released. You see, Sowore is the kind of guy that a lot of people love to hate. They don't like, especially Nigerian people. And the reason they don't like Sowore for the most part is that he is just too blunt. The guy is blatant. He doesn't hold his tongue. And he has no respect for the people that they worship, the people that they respect. That includes their religious leaders, their political leaders, their traditional leaders. Sowore has no respect for these people, and it's rightfully so. These people have ensured that Nigerian people remain confused and controlled. And that's why Sowore advises people, stop worshiping these your politicians. They are nobodies to you. Why was it that we have terrorists in the bushes, right? They hide around. I'm talking about Fulani terrorists. You guys might have heard about different types of terror groups disturbing Nigeria. It has been going on since 2009. Started with Boko Haram. Now it's a complete shit show. You have terrorists on TikTok in 2024 showcasing money that they received in ransom. I had to blur out the music because of copyright issues. But this is a terrorist right here showcasing money that he most likely received from ransom payments from his victims. Because we all understand that the terrorists are all over the country, all over the bushes in Nigeria, and everybody knows about it. They've completely taken over many parts of the country. States like Niger State is like 75% controlled by the terrorists. They have a governor, but the governor for the most part lives in Abuja. I'll find another video for you now. So with all these terrorists obviously showcasing their loot online, everybody knows their username and nothing can be done about it. The government, instead of going after these terrorists, would rather go after people that are protesting against a failed system. Just look at this guy. We have his full details on TikTok. This is the TikTok account of a terrorist, a murderous kidnapper. Look. And the government would rather spend all their resources.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Rabbi Allah, Rabbi Allah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Now, for a quick context, we need to understand that these criminals, these terrorists, they've completely destroyed the lives of millions of people. We have at least 12 million Nigerians currently displaced, living as refugees in internally displaced camps across the country and outside the country. It did not start from the Fulani terrorists that we have on the screen. We also had Boko Haram and other terror groups that did their thing. led to this situation. But back to Sowore, back to Omoyele Sowore. For some reason, well, I wouldn't even say for some reason, because at this point, we all know what these guys are doing, the government. They would rather go after a guy like Sowore because he is constantly motivating the people to stand up against government tyranny. And he has been doing it for the longest time. Eventually, he was released, like I said, because the government doesn't have a choice. If you become so popular and you've consistently shown that you're fearless and you've managed to survive, then it becomes difficult for the government to do anything to you. Because this guy is literally arriving in the country and he has hundreds of people, maybe thousands, waiting for him. Hundreds of frustrated people that have determined that we are going to follow your ideology, Sowore, because we would rather face these evil, corrupt governments than continue living as conquered slaves. And you have to respect that. But I understand a lot of people don't respect that because they are upset with Sowore for criticizing their favorite pastor or imam or politician.
Free Sowore! 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 Free Sowore!
Now, you might have the idea that maybe this protest did not contribute to releasing Sowore because when he was in the detention of the Nigerian immigration, he's put out a tweet telling the entire world that, listen, I have been kidnapped once again by these guys. And if it turns out to be a long ordeal, like it was in the past, make sure that you continue resisting against corrupt government and enslavement by the government. Sowore is the real deal, if you ask me. I don't have to agree with him 100% of the time, but the guy is the real deal. He's consistent. He's consistently showing people that you don't need to be afraid of these guys. And there is something remarkable that Sowore said recently in one of his interviews. He said, "You're asking about coming to what the benefit is in coming out to protest against the corrupt government of Nigeria. The fact that you're asking that question means you're not ready. And I highly recommend, if you're one of such people that is not ready to lose his life or her life, don't come out because you're dealing with monsters. You're dealing with criminals that are irredeemable and have no value for human lives. They want you to remain poverty stricken because that's how they can control you. But if you've decided that you would rather stand up against that system, and if you lose your life in the process, so be it. If you've chosen to take that path, then come out and join us in the protest. But if you're still asking questions about, oh, what's in there for me? Then maybe you've not really gotten to that point where you're ready to lose your life. Because at the end of the day, a bunch of people are losing their lives on a daily basis for absolutely nothing. You find people getting killed by the police for doing absolutely nothing. People are kidnapped by the DSS, by the police, and nothing happens. These are innocent people that are kidnapped, and somehow, some way, nothing happens. Let's even talk about the lack of infrastructure and how that kills the people. You have people suffering from malaria, typhoid. They go to the hospitals, they can't even afford the treatment because in Nigerian hospitals, if you can't pay, you're going to be thrown out to die in front of the hospital. Nobody gives a damn. So if people have been losing their lives in those circumstances, some people are even dying of hunger in 2024. So if you're already in that situation where your life is about to go, you're about to lose your life because a country is crushing you from every single aspect of life, then you might as well go outside and face these criminals. Let them know that you are not going to be subjugated by them. And if they kill you in the process, so be it. At least you did something good for yourself. You didn't just exist in the world and allow other people to crush you and destroy your life. You didn't let that happen. Anyways, this is the moment when Sowore finally came out of the airport. That's a proper hero's welcome. And I can't blame the people. Of course, most human beings love being led, they love being controlled by other people because it's the easier thing to do. But if you allow yourself to be led by a guy like Sowore, I don't think that's a bad thing, because this guy has been consistent for the longest time, and he has consistently proved to us that you don't need to be afraid of these killers. These politicians, their job is to destroy you, to lie against you. Like I said earlier, we have all types of bandits. They call them bandits. I don't even know why I'm calling them bandits. These are Fulani terrorists. You have Fulani terrorists in the bushes killing and kidnapping people, posting the videos on social media. The DSS has all the resources to track these people, but they wouldn't. They would rather track people like Sowore that encourage the youth to stand up against enslavement. And if this is not slavery, then tell me what it is. How do you have a country where you're not even a citizen of the country? Obviously, you're not a citizen, because if you're a citizen, you would have some benefits. Nobody has any benefits in Nigeria. The only people that have benefits are the politicians, their friends, their families, and anybody willing to kiss their ass. That's it. If you don't fall in those categories, bro, sorry, man, your life will be hell. And that's why easily 80% of Nigerians are going through hell on a consistent basis. Let's listen to Sowore and what happened during the ordeal.
Very eventful day already. A lot from the airport, and of course, where we are currently, with Omoyele Sowore. Let me just, of course, get into the interview straight. Omoyele Sowore, great to be back home, I believe.
Yes. Well, I'm back home, but it was because when I left in March and also in May, I did make a promise that I'll be back, that I'm not going anywhere from Nigeria. So it doesn't matter what anybody tries to do. And that is why when I was informed and I got a copy of their memo to the airport that I was declared wanted, it just made me feel very proud that I was once again upgraded by Nigerian government. I've been on the watch list of Nigerian government since I was in the university in 1992. But I found out officially that I've been upgraded to the highest possible level. So,
what do you mean by upgraded?
Well, so they have different grades. There are people who they watch, just generally, if you're leaving the country, they just try to figure out where you're going. But the level that I'm on is the level in which whenever I arrive, I'm supposed to be accompanied, arrested, and detained, and taken to the office of the DG of DSS. That's the level that I am. I think it's the highest level. It's like the GCON of, the GCFR of the National Award for Troublemakers.
So what happened this morning? Because we saw all of the drama that unfolded at the airport. We saw security forces trying to sort of whisk you away, and at some point it looked like they let you go.
Yes, when I arrived, they seized my passport. The immigration guy seized my passport when I presented my passport for processing. And then after standing around for a while, I asked them, what's the problem? They said there is some notation on my passport that I should that needs clarification from Abuja. And I said, who is that? Who put the? Of course, I knew. And they said they're going to make, and they started making all kinds of calls. And then they asked me to sit down at the place. I sat down beside them. After a while, I went back to them and asked, what's going on? And it's been like 30 minutes at this point. And they said they're still waiting for Abuja to clarify. Then they took me to their office where I was briefly detained. And then I tweeted before going into that office, and 10 minutes later they came and said, "Oh, it's just been resolved. You can go." So I went to try and get my bag. Of course, one of my bag was missing. I hope it's not the DSS that stole it. But I've
You said one of your bag was missing.
Yes.
Is it still missing, or have you?
missing, but I've incidented with the airline to look for it, because the tracking on my phone from the airline shows that the bag arrived. So, but like I said, I don't want to. I hope they didn't try to do something stupid with my bag.
So that is Nigeria for you. An absolute criminal enterprise where the bad guys have all the resources and the institutions to arrest the people asking for a better country. Meanwhile, they ignore the terrorists that are kidnapping and killing everybody. That's Nigeria for you. Now, to show you how incompetent the DSS is, and we're going to round up this live stream in about 5 minutes, to show you how incompetent and how useless the DSS and all these other useless government security organizations are. In my opinion, they're completely useless. But you might disagree with me. I'm just sharing my own personal opinion. They are completely useless. Not only are they useless, they are detrimental to society, because the people in control of those institutions, like the DSS, the police, the military, these are people that worship the government leaders. For example, the president, Tinubu, the people that head all these security institutions, they have to kiss his ass. These are people that, if you don't fall within the line to kiss Tinubu's ass and anybody else within the government top upper echelon, you will be thrown out. And obviously, what that creates is a conflict of interest in which they are not going to do their job. They are going to do the job, the biddings of the president. And this is a corrupt president. Obviously, I don't even need to go back into that. The entire world knows at this point that Nigeria's president is a drug baron and a certificate forger and a career lifetime criminal. Everybody knows about it. Okay, it's not even hidden. Going back to showing you how incompetent the DSS was, a couple of weeks ago, before Sowore was arrested, you know, these guys are very useless. The Nigerian security infrastructure, or they're completely useless. They had put out this memo advising, I'm basically going to read it to you. They said, I am directed to inform yours that the DGSS, that's the DSS, Department of State Security, has approved the upgrading of report arrival and destination by telephone immediately to detain traveler and escort with badge NHSS against Omoyele Sowore, founder of Sahara Reporters, an online news agency. This is for your strict compliance. So basically, this memo that was leaked for the entire world to see, the date on the memo is August 2024. There is no particular date, but the memo was released August 2024. It was leaked onto the internet, social media about 2 weeks ago. So we've all known about this, that the DSS planned to arrest Sowore once he arrived in Nigeria. Guess what? Sowore reposted this leak and told the entire world that I'm going to be coming and I'm not afraid of you. Meanwhile, while the DSS put out that information to have Sowore arrested at the airport once he arrived, because he's encouraging people to not accept the slavery that was dished out to them by Nigeria, The same DSS puts out this memo, and I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's too complicated to read. But they basically put out a few names: Fatima Sani Abacha, Mahmoud Abacha, Mustafa Sani Abacha, Zainab Sani Abacha, Sadi Sani Abacha. These are all Sani Abacha's children, the former dictator that started the destruction of modern day Nigeria. Nigeria has always been on a trajectory of destruction right from its inception in 1900. Ever since the British, French, and Germans came together to create Nigeria in 1900, strictly for their own economic benefit and to our detriment, it has been on a trajectory of destruction. Even as at 1914, when it was officially amalgamated and called a country, it was already on the path of destruction. But if you look at that trajectory, the decline, the slope wasn't as steep as it became around the early 90s. Once Babangida became the president, and then he passed power to Sani Abacha. Sani Abacha looted billions and billions of dollars without any care, for no rhyme, no reason. This guy would literally just wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, give me $50 million." That was Sani Abacha. His children are given protection by the DSS. Like I said, they released a memo asking for Sowore to be arrested whenever he came into the country. And they released another memo. This was in July 2024, saying that the children of Sani Abacha, one of the worst looters in the history of Nigeria, that was also a ruler of Nigeria, completely destroyed the lives of people, murdered people in broad daylight, including Ken Saro-Wiwa, an environmental activist. The DSS says they should be allowed free movement when seen at any of the travel and aliens control. Basically, they should be allowed to move freely. If you find them at the airports, regardless the fact that they are spending their father's loot that set Nigeria on this course of absolute destruction. That's Nigeria for you, my people. So, at the end of the day, kudos to Omoyele Sowore. He has proved to us once again that this is unacceptable. Stop being afraid of this criminal government. If you're going to come out to protest, you might as well come out and face it once and for all. And then finally, on this live stream, one of the reasons why people dislike Sowore is this, which I'm going to share with you quickly. Now, we have two photos. This photo is the Bangladeshi people. I don't know if you follow the politics in Bangladesh, what took place about 2 months ago. They eventually kicked out their corrupt prime minister that had been in power for about 19 years. Bangladeshi people made them poor while she was a billionaire. You know, the same game plan that most politicians do in Africa. The second picture, this one, is of Nigerian students in a religious event. You would have thought this was a protest, right? The first photo is Bangladeshi people waving their Bangladeshi flag, protesting against corrupt government. The second picture was during the End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria. That took place late August or middle of August. About 60 people lost their lives. You know, in Nigeria, that was in early August, actually. There was a 10-day protest in early August 2024. About 60 people lost their lives for no reason. It was just 10 days, but the Nigerian government has itchy fingers, always looking to pull the trigger and kill its people. That's just how Nigeria is, right? During that protest, when everybody was encouraged, you guys need to go outside and let the government know that we are tired of being poor. We are tired of not having electricity. We are tired of living in a shithole. We're tired of not having hospitals. We're tired of our schools looking like trash. We're tired of being poor. We're tired of being your slaves, period. While people were encouraged to go out to protest, they went out in large numbers. These are university students, by the way. They went out in this large number for this Christian event. They call it the upper room. So if this amount of people would rather go and pray to their sky daddy, because that's what they're doing, they are praying to a sky daddy. The Nigerian God is a sky daddy. I'm sorry, the Nigerian God is not the real God of the rest of the world. Because if the Nigerian God was the real God of the rest of the world, he would have rescued Nigerians from the mess that Nigerians find themselves in. So they are praying to a sky daddy. They would rather go to a sky daddy, close their eyes, pay tithes and offering to some corrupt pastors, because the pastors, the so-called men of God, are the people that they worship the most. They would rather do that than to go outside and join the protesters to rescue themselves from a failed state. And these are the reasons why people hate Sowore. Sowore says, tale of two countries, Bangladesh and Nigeria. The first photo shows Bangladeshi students embarking on a massive revolt against their leaders, which led the prime minister to resign and flee the country. The second photo is of students of University of Ibadan in Nigeria during an upper room religious event on August 16th, 2024. The Nigerian students shunned the nationwide End Bad Governance protests, while the bank led their own version of End Bad Governance revolt. That's why they hate Sowore. But let me know what you think in the comment section about this. Salute to Omoyele Sowore once again for proving that you don't need to be enslaved. You should have so much pride within yourself that you wouldn't allow your fellow man to dominate you, subjugate you, and keep you enslaved. You shouldn't allow that to happen in 2024, in the information, the age of the internet. Everybody has a smartphone. You should know what other people in other parts of the world are enjoying and benefiting, and you should also want that for yourself. You shouldn't settle down being a slave because that's what your country delivers. The least you can is to reject that slavery. That's the least you can do. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the like button, share the video. Peace.